that which is witnessed by something else has the latter as its witness. When there is no entity to witness a thing, we cannot say that it has been witnessed at all. And then verse 2 and 6. The self is its own witness, for it is realized only by itself. Hence the self itself is the supreme Brahman and nothing else. Then he queries, Dear Acharya Ji Pranam, in the above verse it says self is its own witness as it is realized by itself. The verse seems beyond the comprehension of the mind. I feel mind ceases to exist in this state. If that is so and no one remains to acknowledge, then how does one know that one has arrived? That is exactly the point, Alok. If you know that you have arrived, then you haven't. You are itching to be certified by yourself that you have arrived. Such certifications are indeed possible, but all such certifications would be refuted as false by the scriptures. You are saying if no one remains to acknowledge, then how does one know that one has arrived? You are saying that the verse is beyond your comprehension. That is exactly what the self is, beyond your comprehension. Beyond your comprehension. Beyond anybody's comprehension. Just beyond comprehension. Just beyond. Beyond even beyondness. Adi Shankaracharya has to emphasize that if you are able to witness something, then that something is indeed a thing. Just to tell you that the self cannot be witnessed. The self is not a thing and it cannot be witnessed. Why does he need to remind and underscore that the self cannot be witnessed, that the truth, the Atma, cannot be witnessed? Because the mind, the impure consciousness, has a great proclivity to announce to the world and to itself, to feel and to revel in the feeling that it knows the truth. That which you can witness, you can measure. That which you can measure, you are on top of. That which you are on top of has been controlled by you. The mind is such a control freak because it is so petty and insecure. It wants to control even the truth. To control the truth, it pretends as if it knows the truth, and witnessing is a sure shot mark of knowing. There are so many roaming about the streets of spirituality who keep asserting that they know the witness. They won't directly say that, because directly saying this would be tantamount to stupidity, if not sacrilege. But if you look at what they are dealing in, then you would see that indirectly they are saying something about the witness. Saying anything about the witness means that you are on top of the witness, you are witnessing the witness. Very recently, just a few days back, I happened to come across a video of a very established spiritual teacher, and he was questioning a seeker about the nature of his witnessing. So he was very sincerely, and of course, in his own eyes, the teacher was sincere, and in his own eyes, the student was also sincere. And the teacher was asking the student, so, are you attached to the witness? And the student is saying, no, I just let the witness be. So then the teacher is asking, does your witness get affected by what it perceives? And the student is saying, no. The witness just remains aloof. And all this is happening in a supposedly very serious, in fact, spiritual ambience. You see what is happening. The teacher, with all his sincerity, does not realize the trap he is walking into, and the trap he is leading his disciples into. He has said something, rather a lot, about the witness. He has said something about that about which saying anything is heresy. It is the deepest mistake, unpardonable mistake, to think of oneself as someone in the dimension of the truth. Please get me right. Surrendering to the truth, dissolving in the truth is one thing. It's beautiful. It's the crux of all spiritual matter. Dissolving into the truth. Bowing down. Going to that, being that, not remaining yourself. Such a beautiful word. Dissolving. And it's an entirely different thing to remain yourself and announce yourself to be on the dimension of the Atma. Do you get this? The ego is remaining itself and is announcing itself as a neighbor of the self. Someone who is adjacent to the self. someone who is there to watch. Watch from a distance. Watch from a distance. Now, that's something the ego finds pretty cool. To ogle at the truth as one ogle at a thing in the museum. One says, wow, what a specimen from lands far away, from times unknown. One looks at relics, one looks at artifacts, one feels entertained. One knows that the stuff that he is watching does not belong to his age, his times, his neighborhood, his lifestyle, his vicinity, his life, his being. He knows that the stuff is antique, that the stuff is out of date, that the stuff is unrelatable. And there is entertainment in this. There is adventure in this. You are visiting an old, dilapidated fort. How do you feel? You don't feel at home, do you? But still you go there to visit. That's how the mind wants to feel about the Atma. A great old piece of grandeur with which nothing can be done. You are visiting an old fort. Or excavated remains somewhere from Mohenjo-daro. You don't live there, you don't belong there, you don't surrender to them, do you? You don't call the place your home. But you have good fun looking at them. You click pictures. That's how the mind wants to look at Atma. One wants to remain himself like a tourist. Like a tourist visiting an old fort. One remains himself. The fort belonged to a king who used to remain naked. He was a great king. But when you go to the fort, do you go naked? No, you remain yourself as you are, belonging to the times you belong to today. You don't start belonging, do you? You remain who you are, and parallelly you are watching that old fort and admiring it. An old seal, an old statue with its nose missing. An old carving, an old cave. You go there and you say, wow, That's it. That's what we want to do with the scriptures. Old things, poor old things. You relate to them as one relates to Mohenjo-daro, Varanasi, Khajuraho. Nice things to visit, but no places to stay. Visit them. Claim that you have been there. Claim that you have been there. Go there on a nice sunny day. Admire, enjoy, and come back. That's how you look at the scriptures. You want to claim that you know them. That's the tendency of the mind, and that is why Adi Shankaracharya is warning you. You cannot know him. And you have a deep desire to claim that you know him. And because annoying people like me keep warning you 1,000 times that you cannot know him, so you cannot straight away, directly claim knowledge of him. So what do? You don't say that you know the Atma, but you try saying something a little obliquely, a little indirectly about the Atma. Many a times you are not even conscious that this is what your inner tendencies are trying to do. They are trying to second guess God. They are trying to read the mind of God. You are helpless. You don't even know what you are doing. Look at the apparent innocence in your question. You are saying, how does one know that one has arrived? What? You are traveling by the Delhi metro? You want to know that you have arrived at Chandni Chowk? What exactly is your intention? What do you mean by how does one know that one has arrived? Who are you? What are you riding? Where do you want to go? But I cannot blame you. Most of us are not illumined enough to know ourselves. Most of us do not know the monstrosity of our deep desires. Our deep desire is to overpower God. Our deep desire is to be the God of God. Do you know that's what you want? You don't want to sit at the feet of God. You want to ride the head of God. That's what your deep desire is. And that's why all this enlightenment business, that's why this irresistible urge to know that, people come and say, Acharya ji, how can I know Brahman? How can I know Brahman? I said, do you know that one of your molars is being eaten hollow by some disease? Do you know that when you were having your breakfast, something fell on your shirt? See? You don't know a thing about yourself. You don't know a thing about even your peripheral self. as peripheral as the shirt. But you want to know about the truth itself. Nobody has come to me ever requesting, Acharya ji, I want to know something about my shirt. Nobody comes. Everybody is chasing Brahman. You don't want knowledge about that, about which knowledge can be had. You want knowledge of that which is beyond knowledge. What to do with your request? About yourself, knowledge is possible. It's a special kind of knowledge that one has about himself. It's real-time knowledge. About the world, one can have stored, condensed knowledge. About oneself, one will need to have real-time knowledge, and that comes through observation. And then there is that about which no kind of knowledge is possible. First of all, you have very little knowledge about the world, and that is okay. The world is infinite. Who can have too much knowledge? But even about the world, you don't have sufficient knowledge, even in domains that you ought to know of. You are a cook and you do not know much about vegetables. That is not pardonable. You are a player and you do not know about the court. No. Just don't say that the game is a game. The game is not. You should have had good knowledge. You are an engineer and you don't know about your equipment. That's not what spirituality teaches. So about the world, where you must have had knowledge, at least in limited domains, there you are not agile enough, not honest enough, not diligent enough to have gathered knowledge. About yourself, you should have been observant enough, but that really hurts the ego, to know oneself. To know the world, you require diligence, work, and observation. To know oneself, you most of all require courage. Not even hard work. Observation is no work. Observation only requires courage, because when you observe yourself, what you see is not what you have expected. When you observe yourself, it bites. You are seeing an alien in the mirror. It scares. It scares. How is it to see an alien in the mirror? Who is he? So one decides to rather not observe. One decides to not observe at all. The facts will hurt and bite. The facts will be a slap. On the face. So why encounter the facts? So one seeks refuge in the so-called truth. The truth is anyway unknowable. which means there is no definite truth at all. Hence, whatever you say about the truth cannot really proven to be untrue, which gives you the horrible authority to say anything about the truth. Had the truth been something, then it could have been very easily proven that you are just blabbering. This is black in color. So if you say it is green or violet or red, then it can be proven that you are lying. But what if I am holding nothing here? Nothing with no color. Not only nothing with no color, but nothing that cannot be proven to be nothing, and no color that cannot be proven to be no color. Now, what all can I say about this? What all can I say about this? Just anything. Now I can so easily be a guru. And the more obscure my talk is, the more attractive it appears. Now I will be a deft peddler of obscurantism. Just say something that cannot be comprehended. Say something about the truth, but say something that cannot be comprehended, and you are home. Have some way, nebulous, hazy feeling, and express it in an even more hazy way, and you are home. Done. Love is the truth of your deepest self that is not really you, expressed in a simple yet complex way. Profound. Go to Rishikesh and read posters having such profound revelations emanating from nowhere but the Atma. Love is the truth of the joy of ultimate freedom. All you need is some prepositions. Love, truth, joy, freedom, simplicity. God, universe, infinity. Stars blazing through the universe, meteors, comets. Roll all of them together. Put commas, semicolons at will. And what you have is a download from the skies. Into, unto, as, because, and in between also say, and this is not the complete truth. So cute and humble are you, having uttered nonsense from beyond the universe. You have the humility to admit that this is not the complete truth. I have missed by 0.05%. I must admit, this is just 99.95% truth. Why are you so eager to say something about the truth? Please. Why don't you rather look at yourself? And that is why all the scriptures and Adi Shankaracharya here is at pains to tell you to not to fiddle with witnessing. You may even say that witnessing is just a concept. Let's just close the matter here. Witnessing is a concept given to you so that you may get rid of your insistence towards attachment. Because you are always attached to that which you see. Because you always get affected by that which you see. Hence, to take you away from that which you see, you were given a word called witnessing. There is a little child. He just cannot give up a ball that he is holding. Just can't. He is too attached. So the father points towards the skies and says, "Look, son, there is a great ball up there. There is a great ball up there." And the son says, "Where?" Because the ball is nowhere to be seen. And the father says, There. Look more sharply. Beyond the hills, there. Oh, it's now hidden behind the clouds. Okay, fine. I'm picking you up. Okay. Sit on my shoulders and now watch. Can you see that ball there? And the son says, "Yes, there is something, but is that a ball?" The father says, "Of course it is." "Okay, let's do something. Let's go to the second floor and watch from there." The son says, Yes. And there is excitement in the father's voice. And he carries the son to the second floor. And he's flying up the stairs. And from there he says, See, there. Did you see that? The son says, Yeah, Papa, I just saw something. But wasn't that a bird? No, son, not a bird at all. That's the majestic ball I am referring to. And in all this, the father has succeeded in taking away the little material ball away from the sun. Witnessing is that ball up in the sky. There is nothing called witnessing. But because you are attached to something, so you are being pointed towards the sky so that your attachment may loosen. But you are the father of fathers. You are the father of all fathers that have been. What do? You not only get attached to the ball, Shubhankar, you are not acquainted with your own potency. You don't know who you are. Shubhankar is the son. The bugger rides the father's shoulders. And the father is now feeling secretly happy that he has been able to rid the son of the little material ball. So he leaves the son on the second floor, turns towards one side, takes a deep breath and comes down. And he says, "Mission accomplished." A while later, the son comes smiling down. And he is carrying a rotten pumpkin in his hand. And he says, "Father, I got the ball. Isn't this what you are referring to?" I pulled it down from the skies. See? That's enlightenment for you. And the fathers are wandering in there, wherever they are. They said, "We pointed towards something that does not exist at all. And the bugger even succeeded in getting it. Not only has he succeeded in getting it, he is now writing an autobiography describing how he got enlightened. There are so many who have become enlightened. Rotten pumpkins being shown about as divine balls. Father is saying, from where did he manage it? And then the father remembers, oh my God. Half a year back, I myself left this pumpkin somewhere on the 3rd floor. From the 2nd floor, he looks up, sees something spherical, and drags it down. And now he is utterly confident that he is the possessor of the divine ball. So the father comes to him and says, son, there is nothing called enlightenment. There is nothing called a divine ball. The son says, only those with the divine ball know what the divine ball is. Who has the ball, you or me? The father says, son, it is because of my balls that you are there. But the son is beyond all comprehension now. After all, he has the great rotten ball now. Please be cautious of the ones who claim that they have the divine balls, the sky lotuses, and whatnot. They do not exist. They were just clever tricks to wean you away. You understand the word? Weaning someone away from something. The child is to be weaned away from the mother's breast. What do you give him? Just a bottle. Sometimes just a plastic nipple. And what does the bugger do? He starts claiming that he has had half a liter of milk. Now mother is wondering, what I gave him was a plastic nipple. And the bugger is saying, now I am full. Half a liter of nutrition I have had. And he is telling this to the mother herself. And the mother is saying, wonder of wonders. I gave him something to wean him away. You were told of witnessing to wean you away from your worldly attachments. And you were to be weaned away from your worldly attachments because attachments give you suffering. That's it. It's so simple. Why don't you see? Why don't you see? Because you live in darkness. To take you away from darkness, you were given the concept of enlightenment. Instead, what have you done? You have stayed where you are and claimed that you are enlightened. Should I recall that example that I gave in the last class? So the bugger is fond of sleeping. Totally tamasic is he. And he is sleeping. To pull him out of his enclosure and his cozy bed and his death-like slumber, the father says, son. Now the father is indefatigable. The father keeps trying, like a Kabir, like a Krishna. He keeps trying. And the son cannot be conquered. It's a timeless duel. So the father is again back to his old tricks. He comes to the son and says, son, outside there is a luscious, divine mango. Such mango as can never be seen. So he says the mango can not be seen. Such mango as can never be experienced. So he says that the mango cannot be such mango as has never ever been tasted. So he says that the mango cannot be, you get the drift. The Atman cannot be thought of, tasted, touched, experienced, nothing. And it's a great, great mango. Those who taste this mango become the mango itself. And with all these tempting allurements, he seduces the son to come out, get up and come out. What is the intention of the father? That the son should just get up and come out, and then there is the nice breeze, and then there are the open skies. And what's the point in just keeping to the bed? Come out, son. That's what the father wants. The mango is just a bait. The mango is just a bait. Does the mango really exist? The mango does not exist, and the father has not lied. The father has said it is a mango that cannot be experienced. So the father is not lying. If you see, the father is actually saying that the mango does not. He is saying the mango has no color. The mango has no shape. The mango has no form. The mango has no name. The mango cannot be described. No adjectives can be attached to it. The mango cannot be created. The mango cannot be destroyed. Don't you see what the father is saying? That the mango de facto doesn't exist. And even if it exists, it's a dimension altogether different from the one you live in. As far as the sun is concerned, as far as the sun's existence is concerned, the mango does not exist. But the father talks of the mango in a very, very tempting way. Juicy, luscious, bright. All kinds of tempting descriptions are given. As they say, the Atman is like light. So the father says the mango is bright. Now, Shubhankar gets up, goes out, and after 5 minutes comes back and says, Father, the mango was very tasty. I have had it. And goes back to sleep. Now he is not only sleeping, but sleeping as the one who has arrived. Alok, you too want to arrive. Is this the kind of arrival that you want? Father, I have had the mango. Now let me sleep peacefully. The mango was indeed very tasty, Father. I want to hug you and thank you. And the father cannot even collapse. He does not know what to do next. Even the greatest and the last trick has failed. He is now dumbfounded, aghast. Is even this level of arrogance and self-deception possible? Yes, it is possible. That's what the ego is capable of. Totally deceiving oneself. Now the son is the enjoyer of the mango, and he is sleeping soundly, dreaming of mango orchards. Why limit oneself to one mango? The son is now the owner of an entire orchard. That's what the ego says. Not one truth, but many. And I'll be riding high upon all the truths. I'll be the owner of the entire orchard. For I am the enlightened one. Forget Brahm, forget Atma, forget the Sakshi. Please, please look at yourself. And if you can look at yourself honestly, the Father would be relieved. For that is the essence of witnessing and Sakshitva, looking at yourself without any prejudice. It's so simple. Don't cheat yourself. That's all. That's all. All else is just a cock and bull story, meant to entertain the child and wean him away. Enlightenment is not a state. Enlightenment is a method. Enlightenment is a method to not to remain stupid. You don't become enlightened. You just don't remain stupid. If you can say that you are not stupid anymore, that's enough. And that's all. You don't reach anywhere. You just don't remain where you were. And that's sufficient. You don't arrive anywhere, Alok. You just stop belonging to places that are not worth belonging to. And that's freedom. Arrival is bondage. All arrivals are just bondages. Don't arrive. Just stop belonging. And that's freedom. If you arrive somewhere, you have again limited yourself to a particular destination, a particular situation. Don't arrive, just keep flying. Don't belong. You get this? Enlightenment is not a destination. Enlightenment is the name of not being destination bound. Trains and buses are destination bound. You, the one who you are, you cannot be destination bound. So how can you ever be enlightened? How can you ever arrive? The one who has arrived is for sure not enlightened. The enlightened one is the one who never arrives anywhere. He is forever the sky, flying within himself. You are anyway a prisoner to states, aren't you? This state and that state. Now you want another state. Fine. Another sublime state called the Atma, the Brahman, Sakshi. The enlightened state. Why do you want to remain prisoner? Stay clear of all names, identities, states, arrivals, departures, destinations.